Hello everyone and welcome to Enter the PC. Well, today I've upgraded my computer. I went from a B350 board, ASUS Strix board, to a 1600 processor and upgraded it to a Ryzen 5 3600 processor. Now this board also had DDR4 2400 RAM. I went ahead and upgraded that as well to DDR4 3200 RAM. So I'm going to go through some of the tips and some of the things I did to upgrade my system. Very easy upgrade, well worth it, and let's dive in. Hey there, so what I did first was unscrew everything from the water block. This is an AIO A240R closed loop system running with the Radeon Vega 56 card, and this is all AMD stuff. EK is the water block again, so I'm unscrewing everything, removing all the parts here so I can remove the water block from the CPU. We can see the CPU has the old thermal paste on it, and I lift that up and then I grab the CPU. There's all that mucky muck. Okay, now what I'm doing is cleaning the CPU. This is the old CPU with rubbing alcohol and some Q-tips, and I just give it a thorough cleaning so that it doesn't have any of that thermal paste on there when I store it. I probably used like 12 Q-tips on this. And normally I would wear gloves, but they're kind of on short supply now, so I just used my hands, but was careful when touching some of this stuff and trying to keep things clean best I could. Alright, next I clean the water block using the same method with the rubbing alcohol. This is a machine part, so I want to be careful to avoid any scratches or anything so I can get best optimal contact between that water block and the CPU. Alright, consult the manual for this, and what we want to do is look for the pin layouts for where to place the CPU on the board. Now this CPU has pin layouts. The 1600, as you can see, has a bigger pin mark, which is kind of interesting. It's a very small pin mark on the 3600. So I use the mark and I insert the CPU. Should go right in there, and then I can close the lever. Next I'm going to insert using Arctic Silver Formula 5. Arctic Silver, many other thermal compounds work just as well as long as you have a silver based one. And I use the pea-size method. Actually it's a size of grain of rice they say, and put it on both the CPU and the block. Now some people do it one or the other. There's varying methods based on what I found. I use it on both, and I make sure it's even on both sides, spread carefully on the water block here, using a business card, a clean business card, to just delicately and evenly apply the thermal paste on the block. Well, best I can. And then I do the same thing with the CPU below to spread the thermal paste. Getting even coats here, and you can see then I can apply the water block or the cooler to the CPU just like that. Now you don't want to lift it up or anything like that. You want to, once it's set down there, keep it down there, and then put that over, and we're good. Screw it in lightly. Don't screw it in very hard. just hand tighten. And then now I'm turning everything on, seeing how it works. This was a replaced memory and CPU for a B350 board. So Asus Strix B350, as of this, has a new CPU installed up to 3 gen AMD Ryzen. So that's installed, so I'm going to go into the BIOS, hit F1, and surely enough, it shows everything is in there. Now I notice the RAM is not the correct speed, so I'm going to have to go and adjust the memory RAM. Also, the voltage is not quite where I want it, so I'm going to have to adjust that. Choosing the old settings from my old board. Also going to change the RAM here to 3200. That's what I just put in. I'm going to take off the offset mode. These are all settings I had before from my last setup with the 1600 being overclocked. So let's remove all that. And I'm using DOCP standard because those are set profiles and they work just fine for what I need. I do recommend them. Core ratio was set higher because of an overclock, so I'm going to set it to just the standard for now. And I'm going to do all my overclocking using the Asus utility. Blasphemy, perhaps, but I am using a program to do additional overclock. It works very well. As I can see right here from my device manager, I have 12 processors. This is a 6-core unit running dual core here, so I have 12 total. Everything shows on AMD drivers that I have the correct CPU. Everything looks good, so I'm running the overclock now. This is the Intelligent Processor AI Suite from Asus. I am running that. This is at increased speed just to show you how this works. It's testing out all the speeds. One thing that was an issue was they didn't have the AIO pump listed during the fan test, so I'm going to have to go in and manually change that. So there are some tweaking you might have to do additional to get everything optimized, but overall everything worked very well, and I got a very nice high processor rate from the 3600, so everything worked out pretty well. Happy with this. Everything looks good. This is a time lapse just of me working on the computer, so enjoy. Benefit here also with this closed loop, I didn't have to disconnect anything, I didn't have to drain any coolant, so that was really nice. I could keep everything intact and just do it up. Thanks for watching. Please like and subscribe.